Hey everyone, time for another weekly update. This one more focused on Bitcoin, but I will be covering ETH and Sol as well, and Ondo, and then going over USDT dominance and Bitcoin dominance. So if you guys watched my last Bitcoin update, I mentioned that if we lost range lows, we're in trouble. Okay, and if you follow me in the Discords, you would know that I've been bearish this whole entire move down. I was bearish as soon as we lost 64.5k, and I'll go over that again, but I want to take a moment to let you guys know that I think that the top is 50% in. It was 40% a few days ago, but now, and more that I'm thinking about it, this is probably a top symbol or top sign. I'll go over that when I go over Bitcoin, but I did sell a good majority of my assets once we lost that 61k level, and I've only been trading two coins. In terms of my long-term bags, I have sold a good chunk a while ago. Some are in good profits. Usually when I'm 3x in profit from my entry level, I do de-risk by taking out my initial capital, and I write the rest as free coins. So a good chunk of my long-term investments is actually free, basically risk-free. So I haven't de-risked those yet. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm going to start by going off the weekly line chart really quickly because I want you guys to see something. So, all the way from this basically 25 to 30k level, okay? This 25k level is where we had the first market structure break, right? Because we were making these lower highs and lower lows, right? And this was our last lower high. Well, actually, it was this one, okay? We actually did break above and flip it into support. If I go to the candle chart, see, we broke out, flipped it to support, and then continued to run, right? But line charts do not take into account wicks. They only take into account the bodies. So if I were to go back to the line chart, it was from this moment that we had a new shift, okay? We were making, here is your first higher low, higher high, right? Higher high, higher low, actually a double bottom, higher low, right? And then at that point on, it was just higher and higher, right? Well, here was the last, sorry, I don't know why. Here is the last higher high, okay? We made a higher low. Then we failed to make a higher high. We put in a lower high, okay? And it was at this point where we broke the weekly market structure. All right. So once that happened, we went full bear. This is full bear territory. Okay. If I were to go back to the line charts, one sec, work with me here. All right. So here's the clean range, right? Here's your range highs, and here is your range lows. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Your highs and lows should be by candle closures, okay? Or the points of most touch. So in this case, we had all these candle closures below. Yes, we had the wicks, but the candles closed below these levels, all right? These, it was just a deviation, right? Here was the first support marked out. We had the wicks below, but the candle still closed above this level, right? Candles closed above, deviation, candles closed. So for those that are saying that this was your range low level, right, this 58K, no, it was not. Your range low level is this here, basically, this little area, okay? But your true range low support is the 61K level, Okay, your true range high resistance is this 71.6K level. Okay, so this was your range, and as I mentioned, it got weaker with every single touch. Okay, so we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, deviation, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so right now, I am not bullish in the markets until our previous important level, which was this here, the 64 point. Okay, I make that blue. We need to get back above this level for me to be bullish. Okay, I am not bullish until that happens. In my opinion, we go much further down, and as I mentioned, about 50% of my gut tells me the top is in for this cycle. Okay, so we need to get above this level to be bullish. Okay. Okay. As I mentioned, we just put in a lower low. Okay, so our weekly structure has been broken. I'm not looking to short here. There's no reason to short. Your short should have been, if you were taking a short, this is where it would have been. Okay, this was your support touch. We closed below. This became an SR level, meaning that if we were to go and retest it, right, it should reject from it. So we lost that support. We closed below it, rejected from support, closed below. That's when you should have taken the short. You don't short here because, yes, we can get some relief bounces. If we were to get a move back up, I'm looking to, and I gave it in the Discord. I'm not going to give it here, but basically short around the range low level as a back test. So I'm looking for something like this. If we get it, right, short, and then continue to further go down. Okay. Right now, our levels are these here. I mentioned this before as well. So this 53 down to 50K level. And then our weekly level is this demand zone here. Okay. Okay. So this is our last must hold level until, then the bear market is for sure in. Okay. So I do not want to lose this level. Okay. I think that we can go all the way down to 44, 45K level, and then we have a move up. Now, most of the coins are not going to go back to their all-time highs, and I'll give you an example why. Okay. So let's draw this trend line. Right? We can come all the way down here. The longer we stall, right, the trend line will be higher. But at this moment, if we were to just nosedive here in the next few days, our lowest level is 37 to about 40K. Okay, the uptrend is intact until that happens. We are making higher lows. We can even come back down here and make another higher low. So for now, we are okay. But a lot of altcoins are not going to be. What I expect for Bitcoin to do is just going to be chopping here between this 50K to 58K range, probably for the next month, month and a half. If we reclaim 58K, which was our previous support level here, okay, this is just going to be a deviation. And then we should go back up to range highs where I'm looking to short. The short's giving in the Discord, so just go ahead and take a look at my channel. It's only given there. But this is the level that we need to bounce from. So taking a scalp from the 53 to 50K level seems pretty reasonable. That's where I will be starting my spot buys. 53K, 50K, and then I think it was like 46.8K is my last spot level that I'm max allocating. And by max allocating, I'm saying that those will be my last buys for Bitcoin. Okay, if we go lower, fine. I won't buy. I will actually look to cut if we lose this level here. Otherwise, that is the last level that I'm looking to buy Bitcoin. If I will buy higher with confirmation, but in terms of buying lower, no, that's it. Okay. So if you're taking a leverage long, this is going to be your setup. Stops below 50K and hopefully bounces there. But we have a double top on the weekly. Okay, we had a double top. If you were looking to de-risk your spot bags, I think it's a little bit too late. That was the level that I mentioned to de-risk at. Everyone in the Discord with me, that's when we de-risked, hopefully. Now, I'm only trading 2 coins, and that's Sol and Ondo. And that's where I'm going to be double dipping and putting my focus on. We're in profit in both. But for Bitcoin, my short will be back at the retest of the range low level for a back test, put in another higher low, a lower high, and then further down. And in terms of taking a scalp long, if you're looking to get it, here's your first demand zone, long there. Otherwise, you're going to bid this weekly level. Okay. Now ETH also has a double top put in as well. Okay. It's still in the range, so it has not broken the range. Range high, range low. Notice how range low has had more touches than range high, so that is showing weakness. That monthly candles gross as well. Here is the level of interest for me on ETH, and that is between basically 2,500-ish. I'm going to make that black. Okay. Down to 2150-ish. Okay. That is the level of interest for me on ETH. Now, if I were to draw a trend line, right, we are good until we lose this trend. So if we lose the range here, right, I'm looking for something like this. Hopefully we just come back up, can reclaim the range, and then TP1, TP2. TP1, if we do fill here, should be the bottom of the range. If we do get a back test, I expect a rejection there. But if we go to a lower time frame, right, this range is still valid. We haven't lost it. It's much weaker than the resistances. So be careful if you're taking longs here. You have an easy invalidation. Stop should be below this wick over here. Okay. The other setup that you can do is you can wait for a liquidity sweep of these lows here. So something like this, and then reclaim, close above this this wick, and then you would mark it long wherever it closed above. Once it closes, this is on daily candle, and stops below the wick that it's going to create, if it does create one. If you don't get that sweep, it is not a long trigger. So you have to be patient here, and this would be more for experienced traders. That way, you're able to manage and trade. If we do get back to mid-range here, it's definitely a short. You have supply, range, mid-range, range highs, and then you have a supply zone that formed here as well. So a short scalp can be taken there. Okay. And then you do have that fair value gap that you can short as well. I personally am not taking this short here. If I do take a short, it's always at mid-range because we're at range lows. I would always short mid-range. If we were at range highs, I'd always long mid-range. But if we are ever consolidating at mid-range, especially if you're consolidating on support, consolidation on support is bearish. Okay, consolidation under resistance is bullish. So if you're hovering on support for a long time, expect a move to the downside unless there's great news. But this gave a move down, See how we were at range lows. We got a rejection from mid-range, and then the ETH ETF news came out. Same thing here, right? We're at range lows. If we get a move back to mid-range, it's a short. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for on ETH. My only trigger is going to be a sweep of these lows here, reclaim by closing above that level, and then stops below whatever wick is created and move up. Otherwise, my next trigger is going to be this 2472 down to 2120 region. Okay. These are again high time frame macro levels. I am not a scalper, so if you're looking to enter in scalps, then by all means find your own stop losses. I will be taking these mostly on spot and few less leverage trades. Okay. Now let's take a look at the biggest shitcoin of all time, Solana. All right. Stupid celeb meta. Okay. So we are on support. Okay, just like ETH, we've touched support more than we touch resistance. This is getting bearish and bearish by the day. I expect this to eventually break down to the downside, and I mentioned this in one of the videos. Okay, I expect Sol to go to this this $90 level. All right. If we do get a move down to 46, 44K, this will easily be achieved. I do think it's going to be a buy. However, it's going to be a very, very risky buy. Okay, because unlike ETH, where we have this trend line, unlike Bitcoin, where we have this trend line, this is a do or die spot for Solana. Okay, because this, if we break below, it has broken market structure. Like you can draw this stupid trend line, right? But if you were to draw a trend line here, Sol has already lost it. Okay, this coin, this was the last higher high. Here's your last higher low, lower high, lower low. We closed below the last previous higher low, so this is a higher low, or sorry, a lower low. So if you're looking to short, you're going to have to wait for the next lower high to be created, and then if it rejects from that point on, then it's going much lower. So if Bitcoin goes down to that 46, 47K level, I think you can buy Sol around $90. All right. Now, the most important thing that I want to point out here is you should not be attached to any coin no matter who tells you to buy. If I tell you to buy, Bitcoin at like 60K or 70K, and then you see, a market structure break, if I'm holding, doesn't mean you have to. You have to protect your capital. You have to preserve your capital. And just because, someone's conviction, for me, my highest conviction coin was Ondo, right? I gave this around 22 cents. I sold around $1.33, right? That's a 6-7x. So if someone tells you it's their high conviction coin and they shill it to you either at the middle or the top or the bottom, it is your responsibility to sell or take loss on it, and don't be a bag holder. Okay, there are many coins from last cycle, Litecoin being one of them, XRP being another one, right? People are still bag holding their coin, thinking it's going to reach all-time highs. I will tell you this, and I will tell you it now. Most of these altcoins are not going to reach their all-time highs again. Okay, the alt season that everyone is waiting for and asking for has already happened. What do I mean by this? So go and take a look at any coin during last bull cycle. Okay, they did most of their run in this first leg up. Okay, then we had the correction back to double bottom. There was a few coins that made all-time highs, okay? But most of the coins did not do that, right? So let's pick one for example, right? Let's take a look at Link. Okay? So here, this first cycle, the highs ended on April 19th, right? And then this low was in June 21st, okay? If we take a look at Link, April, right, a month after this, or 2 weeks after, then it came back down. June 19th, 20th, right, we started here. This next leg up, there you go. This second leg up for Bitcoin failed to yield all-time highs for Link. I can keep going, right? A lot of coins made all-time highs this cycle, but let's take a look at another, like LTC, right? Litecoin, right? Same thing here. 400, here's the last, made it back to 300, all right? So what if this first leg up here was the highs for most of these altcoins? You have to keep that in the back of your head, right? We take a look at Link again, and from the lows, okay, I'm just going to take it from here to there, right? It did a 4x from 5 to 22, okay? It did a 4x. New coins in this cycle, right, did much better. But if you're taking a look at the other coins, right? So like last cycle coins, right? BNB, okay, 3x, right? Atom, almost a 3x, right? From 5 to 15. So the so-on-so quote-unquote alt season has already happened. Yes, you're going to get some coins that do 2x or 3x maybe from here, right? But a lot of the coins that you are holding, that I'm holding, are not going to get back to their all-time highs. So if you have this, wet dream that you're going to be making millions because a coin is so far down from its all-time highs and it's going to get there again, it is not. An example of this is ICP, okay? The most dumbest and most useless coin ever, okay? People are even thinking this gets back to, 3 digits. Dream on, okay? This coin is dead. It's not getting there again. All right? From the lows, this coin did a 7x. Okay? There's your alt season for this coin. All right? There are plenty more that I can keep showing, from Twitter influencers, from Twitter people, from Discord callers that are adamant that you're going to get a 5 to 10x from your coin, and you may from the current lows. Like Sol, for example, at this point can do a 2x. Okay, it can go back to its all-time highs from here easily. But coins like ICP and like this one maybe, but like Matic going back up to $3, XRP going back up to $3, it's not going to happen. All right, so if you're going to sleep again with this wet dream that you're going to wake up to 10x on most of your coins, I'm sorry to break it to you, it's not going to happen. All right. So back to Sol. As I mentioned, if Bitcoin goes back to the 44, 46K region, which is the weekly demand zone, expect to load up on Sol around 100 down to $90. Right. Now, in terms of where this could reject, right, I'm again looking for a next lower high to possibly short this coin. I will not be shorting here close to range lows. So if we do get up back to this daily order block here, confluence with the trendline resistance, you do some fibs as well. The golden pocket 786 fib, I'd most likely start a short, okay, and stops above there, and look for a new lower low. Okay. So again, it's going to be a patient game right now. It's going to be choppy for the next 1 or 2 months. I think, September or October is when it's going to start picking up again. I don't give a fuck about the elections. I don't think that's going to do anything with it. Both parties are retards. And in terms of, parties caring about crypto, none of them are going to care. I think they're both, if Biden comes out and says like, oh, I care about crypto, I'm going to enforce laws to help people buy crypto, and I'm super pro crypto, he's going to take it back. Same with Trump. He's a fucking snark, so he's not going to do anything. So I don't think the elections will do anything spectacular. So don't rely on news like that. Only rely on technicals and charts themselves. Okay. Fundamentally, yes, you can get a pump, but they're going to be, short-lived. Okay. Now, let's take a look at USDT dominance. All right. This is one of the most bullish charts that I'm seeing. Okay. So USDT dominance means people are stabling up. When this is bullish, right, it's bearish. It's inversely correlated to the crypto market. So this technical target of this ascending triangle, okay, is all the way up to here. Okay. So if we do come back to retest this SR point, which has not been flipped yet, if we do come back to retest it, I expect it to hold. That's where, a lot of these coins are going to get that small rally upwards where you're looking to short. And right now, this is bear territory. I think, the bears are in control here. I'm not bullish until we flip 64 to 65K. That is my level. Any pumps, in my opinion, any rallies are meant to be shorted. It doesn't mean you blindly short. You have to short at resistance levels. But if we do come back down to here, okay, I expect this to hold, put in another higher low, and then eventually I think we go and touch this level here. Okay, we go up and touch this neckline. Okay, we reject, come back down, maybe hold here, but if this does put in a right shoulder, then, pray to whatever God you believe in. If you don't believe in God, like myself, pray to crypto lords. I pray to myself, basically. Jokes. But the target for this inverse head and shoulders, okay, if this happens, is basically going to be this resistance level here. Okay. And that would be drastic for the crypto markets in general. And you do not want to see that happen. You do not want to see this flip into support. You want to see rejection here if we do get up there, and that's where you'll be looking to buy long all your altcoins and then look to sell on the move down. Be very cautious when it comes back either to this trend line here or to the support level for that right shoulder, because if it does bounce from there and goes back up, I do think that we go and test this 9% level, which is, again, it's going to be terrible for crypto in general. Okay, as long as this is bullish, I'm stabled. I'm going to be taking few and lesser plays on spot, and milk as much profit as I can before an actual long-term setup comes for me that I can swing. Okay. And last but not least, Bitcoin dominance. Okay. This is the chart that you want to focus on, deciding whether or not you want to go into altcoins. We have broken the trend line on the weekly. Okay. We are on support here. So, we have taken a huge hit on Bitcoin and the market in general. We are heavily, oversold. So we could see this come back down a little bit, and alts will rally a little bit. But in terms of, what this looks like, it's just a range right now. Okay. Range highs, range lows. We are currently at mid-range. Okay. So here's your mid-range level. Lose that, you're looking for this support to hold. If you do long here and you get nice moves up, you're going to want to take some profit when we get back down to this range low level, because when you're playing a range, you always, in terms buy support or buy range low, this is your range low, because this is inversely correlated to altcoins, right? If this is bullish, altcoins are down. If this is bearish, altcoins go up. This is where you want to sell a little bit at least, and then move your stops either to profit or move your have a manual stop loss on spot. Okay, we do not want this to break above this range high. If it does, alts are going to suffer more. Right now, with Bitcoin price going down and this increasing, it was increasing. This is a 3-day chart, right? If this is increasing, then alts continue to die faster. All right, you want Bitcoin price to go up, this to go down, and then alts will increase. Okay, if Bitcoin stays stable and this goes down, then alts will increase faster, and then you have your small little alt relief rally. But focusing on this and knowing when to go risk on or risk off on alts is very important. I recommend you guys understand this chart and use it at least 2 or 3 times a day or weekly to understand how this works, right? Now, for those in the Discord with me, we got the bottom again on Sol around 129. Ondo is where my focus has been. You can get some nice moves up on here. So I mentioned to buy around 98 cents, okay? And this is where we sold. So you got a nice 6% move up, right? And then because we haven't filled our DCAs until today, right? Because we sold, this brought our average down tremendously, because I had a 40 entry, 40% allocated there, 30% and 30%. We sold, trimmed, entered there, brought our average down, and currently we are up. Well, it was 8.5%. I'm looking for 10 to 15% before taking profit. My lower DCAs are still valid. However, Ondo was very weak once we lost the trend line. Look for a lower high to get out of the positions that we're currently in, and then we re-enter again back at support. Okay, so this is my high conviction play. It's already done its job. I'm not going to tell you to buy now and then look for a 4x from here. It could happen, sure. My high conviction plays have been given a long time ago to most of the servers that I was in. My class and my students got it way in advance, so they enjoyed a 7x while the rest enjoyed a 5 or 4x. All right. So that's what I'm looking at. And right now, I think it's a patience game. I think it's too late to short. You're gonna have to wait for a new lower high to form to short, and it's very risky to long because we have no real support yet until 53K level. So don't blindly go and long or short right now. I think the best position right now is to sit patiently and do nothing. Sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. So that's what I recommend. And if anything else, I will update in the Discords. All right. Thanks, everyone.